Good evening and welcome to Watchmen on the Wall. Thank you for joining us. We took our cameras to the launch of Porndemic, a book that illustrates the dire threat of pornography on South African society.
Some of you may be wondering why a nice girl like me would want to tackle such an awful and taboo topic. Well, I'm hoping by the end of this presentation you will be informed and inspired to make a difference in this issue, and you'll understand the seriousness of what's going on in this country, but most importantly, how this is a winnable war. I want to start off with a story. Liz Jones counseled hundreds of sexually abused children in the years that she worked at Safeline as a counselor. She dealt with countless incidences of porn-related abuse, but her heart sank each time she heard those familiar words. I watched it on the TV, or I saw it in the magazine. On one occasion, she counseled a boy just entering puberty from a top-notch Cape Town primary school. The principal referred his parents to Safeline after complaints were made to teachers about the way he kept trying to touch the girls, grabbing them between the legs, and talking about sex inappropriately with other children. It eventually culminated in a blatant incident of child-on-child sexual abuse. Normal reprimands and discipline from teachers and parents were not working, so his mother brought him in for therapy with Liz. But why, Liz said to him, why did you say that? What made you think of that? Eventually he admitted to watching a TV program at a relative's house. It was Emmanuel on ETV. He was not the only child to become abuse reactive or to sexually abuse other children after watching Emmanuel when the full series was broadcasted on ETV in the year 2000, even though it was late at night. Not all young people go to bed, hit the sack, when the clock strikes 9:30 or 11:30 or even 1 a.m. 13 years later, or 14 years later, South Africa has become more pornified than we can even imagine. But it was the early 90s when porn first started to flood South Africa. And since 1992, the rape rate, particularly of children, increased dramatically. SA police records show that reported child rape increased from 3,600 in 1992 to almost 15,000 in 1996. This is an increase of just over 400% in just 4 years. Is it mere coincidence that this escalation coincided with the flood of pornography that hit our country during these years? When the police found the blood-stained body of 7-year-old Ramon Jacobs of Mitchell's Plain, they discovered 5 meters away the pornography-saturated room of the rapist who had murdered her. The walls were covered with pin-ups from Scope, Stag, and Bunny Girl. Now, this is quite an old example, but this has led to many academics and scholars saying that pornography is propaganda for rape culture. It's like marketing for exploitation. So now South Africa has become more pornified than anyone could have imagined. Not only are children now being exposed to pornography, now they're actually imitating it and even producing their own. In the last 4 years, 2010 to 2013, there have been 4 gang rapes of girls by teen boys that I know of. And in each of the 4 cases, the boys filmed the abuse, later spreading the video via social media. And the statistics that the Film Publications Board have documented confirm just how many children are being exposed to pornography on a daily basis. They found that 67% of teens surveyed have watched a porn DVD, and a total of 45% reported watching pornographic films regularly. Most teens surveyed, 64%, have been exposed to porn images on the internet, and 60% exchange porn internet addresses with their friends. 81% reported knowledge of porn images on their friends' cell phones, and this was 2008. There's probably thousands more children who have access to the internet on their smartphones now. So it's not a question of if you and your children will be exposed to porn, but when. because porn is everywhere on the internet, and we go everywhere with the internet on our internet-enabled devices. So we really need to talk about this issue.
Excellent presentation on the book Porndemic, how the pornography plague affects you and what to do about it. Now, we all know that pornography is a growing menace in society. Children as young as 8, as we heard earlier on, becoming addicted to pornography. This book couldn't have come at a better time. How's this going to help the ordinary person out there?
Yes, well, Errol, we really are facing an epidemic of pornography in this country. Not only are children being exposed and getting addicted, but now they're even imitating the brutality, exploitativeness of pornography, and they're now producing their own pornography. We know of 4 gang rapes in the last 4 years in which teenagers gang raped girls, and then they filmed the rape and spread the video via social media. So, what's going on in the minds of children? And we need to be aware that it's not a question of if you or your children will be exposed, but when. And so we need to learn first and foremost how to protect our own families, but then what we can do to make a difference in society. We seeing countries that who were some of the first to legalize porn and legalize prostitution are now waking up to the devastating impact that it has had on them. So countries such as UK and Iceland are now implementing blocks on pornography. And we could see the same happen here in South Africa too. But not if you're not prepared to get involved and put up a fight. This is going to be a fight, but we need you to get involved and learn, be informed what you can do to make a difference, to create a ruckus in both the Christian and secular media, exposing these issues of when children are being exposed and the devastating impact that porn has on society. And there's information, there's addresses, there's websites, there's sample letters in the book. And so this book is really, it's an equipping tool to help you make a difference in this area. And Christians can make a difference. One person can make a difference.
Now, the rape and the sexual abuse of women in South Africa is also a huge issue. And in your research that you've done to compile this book, can you answer this question? Of the 64,500 rapes of women annually in this nation, what percentage of that do you believe porn played a role in?
Well, some researchers have said that over 7% of the rapists that they've surveyed admitted to imitating pornographic scenes in the act of their sex crimes. So that's a huge number. And others that I've spoken to who work with sexual offenders in prison say almost all the rapists that they're trying to minister and to bring the gospel to were addicted to pornography.
Now, Top TV, who is now known as Starsat, they've been given the green light to put 3 hardcore pornographic channels on South African television. Now, they haven't been successful yet because there are a number of legal challenges against that. But what do you think would happen if they were successful?
Well, children, even more children would be exposed to this. You know, if it's not enough for so many children to be exposed on the internet, we've got to throw in the porn on ETV and Top TV as well. And, you know, children are tech savvy. They know how to break through codes and access this kind of stuff. But what's also concerning is the fathers, the husbands who will be watching this porn on Top TV and the impact that they will have on marriages. Research has shown that over 56% of divorces involve at least one of the partners having an obsessive interest in pornographic websites.
As a woman, Taryn, what do you think the overall effect of this wide exposure to pornography is on the internet, movies, videos, DVDs? What is the overall effect you think on women?
Well, pornography, it degrades women, it's dehumanizing, it makes women just out to be sex objects that are always shown as being sexually available. It says that when a woman says no, she actually means yes. It trivializes rape. And so really this affects all of us as women. And this is why we have one of the reasons why we have such a huge rape crisis in South Africa.
So finally, Taryn, people are very concerned about pornography and they probably want to get hold of this book. How do they do that?
Yes, well, they can contact us at Africa Christian Action on 021-689-4480. That's 689-4480. And, or email me, info@christianaction.org.za, or visit our website, christianaction.org.za, and you can order copies from us.
Taryn, thank you once again for the work for you, Peter Hammond and Christine McCafferty, on producing a book like Porndemic. It is necessary, it is needed, and we hope it's going to be a great success. Many people will see this.
Well, thank you, Errol, for Family Policy Institute and what you're doing to fight for the family.